as the Beagle rounded Cape Horn, Darwin's most important observations lay ahead of him, in the Galapagos Islands off the coast of Ecuador.
In the Galapagos, every island had its distinct form of tortoise. The differences were slight. They're obviously all one species. And Darwin also noticed this in the birds, the so-called, what they're called now, Darwin finches. They're sparrow-like, actually, birds that varied enormously. Some had long bills and they would get insects from under the bark. Others had very heavy bills, like a finch, and they were for breaking seeds and things of that sort. But you got all of these variations.
In the Galapagos, Darwin lit upon a key idea, that certain traits among organisms might have something to do with where they live and what they eat. In 1836, 5 years after he first set sail, Darwin returned to England with many questions about how species originate and survive. Ironically, he found some help in the work of an economist, Thomas Malthus, who had written on the survival and growth of the human species.
There must be enough resources, obviously, for the individuals to survive. Now, population growth is such that in a relatively few number of years, any species, if all of its offspring survived, would carpet the earth. That does not happen. What does happen is that most of them die.
In a world of limited resources, organisms must compete in order to survive. In this simple idea, Darwin found the missing piece in his evolving theory. The variation of traits in different organisms must affect their ability to survive in their environment. This formed the basis for evolution through natural selection.
Well, Darwin's theory of natural selection, which was his unique contribution, is made up of these major components. First of all, in all species, all populations, there is variation that is inherited. You must emphasize inherited.
Darwin had long observed that many traits can be passed on from parents to offspring. He now proposed that conditions in the environment favor certain traits over others, allowing individuals with those traits to survive and reproduce.
Darwin made the point that there is a difference between those that live and those that die. There is a selection. Nature is making a choice. It is selecting those that are best adapted to live, but more importantly, being able to leave offspring.
So, members of a species who carry the traits best suited to their environment, perhaps a large beak to crack seeds or a well-camouflaged body, will survive to pass these traits on to their offspring. As changes in the environment affect organisms over vast stretches of time, species evolve. In 1859, under pressure from friends and a young colleague named Alfred Wallace, Darwin finally compiled these ideas in his legendary publication. On the Origin of Species rocked the scientific community and the public at large. Its theories remained controversial and not fully understood until advances in genetics during the 20th century revealed the secrets of inheritance. Even then, scientists could not agree on the specifics of Darwin's theory until the 1940s, when Dr. Ernst Mayr forged the modern synthesis of evolution.